Dionisio at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Swakowski, the big right-hander, lets it go. It's right down Broadway. Dionisio lets it fly, and it's raining now.
It's time for Rain Delay Theater with Jeremy Dionisio and Jack Swakowski.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Rain Delay Theater, the show where two bums talk about other bums at baseball games. I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And I'm Jack Swakowski.
This is episode number 292, and we're going to be bringing you the 2025 Bus Awards. So one of our fun annual events that we do after every season. The season is still going on, but the playoffs are winded down to the World Series. So the World Series is afoot. It'll be starting in a couple days. Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays. And, I don't know. Neither one of us are happy about that, I'm sure. But, the Dodgers Brewers series came and went pretty quickly. And then the Blue Jays and the Mariners were battling it out. And Mariners fans, pretty tough blow from George Springer to send the Blue Jays into the World Series. But that's where we're at.
Yeah, the Dodgers, they couldn't even give the Brewers a gentleman's sweep. You know, they couldn't even let them win one game. As a Brewers fan, it's one thing to lose a series. It's another thing to look like you just completely don't belong, which is what they looked like. Granted, the first two games, Game 1 and Game 2, it was two of the best starting pitching performances that had happened in over a decade in the playoffs, probably. Blake Snell, right, and then followed up with Yamamoto, which I think may have been the first complete game at least in a championship series, maybe in the postseason. I think it was like in the postseason since 2017 or 2016. I think Verlander might have been the last guy to do it. Might have been the first complete game in the NLCS since 2003. I think Josh Beckett did it. Or maybe I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I don't know, but I feel like that's what I heard. But Shohei Ohtani hitting 3 home runs and pitching 6 scoreless innings in Game 4. So you had some all-time performances, but also an all-time bad performance by the Brewers. Jeremy, maybe the curse of the L is a real thing, right? They flew that L flag, and then they lost 4 straight games.
Yeah, I remember you saying that that's the thing that curses are from. I assume that probably came from like a Brewers Reddit board or something, maybe.
Well, I think that just people in general on the internet were saying, like, that's how you curse a team is when you do stuff like that.
Okay.
I guess the curse of the Billy Goat is ridiculous, but obviously they didn't win a title for another 70 years after that. So it's not good, but the facts are that they didn't win a playoff game after they did that.
Yeah, right. It's not great. I just can't shake the whole Trevor McGill of it all. Is he under contract for next year? Probably, I'm assuming.
So he is. What's weird is I watched that video again, and it looks like it was maybe either Bowers or Patrick Mears who grabbed the thing, but also I'm not sure, and a bunch of people said it was McGill's idea, and I believe that it could have been McGill's idea. So I don't know. I think we need to dive deeper. Like, we as a Brewers fan base need to dive deeper into who exactly it was that did that, so we know who to blame.
Yeah, just like they investigated the Padres, and I guess it was Jose Iglesias. Well, I guess it was Jose Iglesias who kind of got in there right away with the umps at first. Well, so after you mentioned that, Jack, so I was kind of examining the tape, and I don't know if it's the very first time, but it looks like it's the first time they unfurl the L flag. Like, there's a player in the back, a tall player, and he holds it up. And after you mentioned it was McGill, I watched again, and I was like, oh yeah, that is McGill.
Okay, yeah.
Now it could have been Mears maybe but he looked beefier than Mears, so that's why I'm like, it looked like McGill. However, there are pictures where I think McGill is in front of the flag. So I think that there was at least somewhere he was in it. So I don't know, but then also maybe I'm not sure. I do think it was McGill though, so it is funny. I mean, I'm also tuned into it too as a Cubs fan because I also want to know who did it, especially if it's McGill. I've already said this, so I've been pretty merciless about McGill the last couple episodes, and he did sign for me twice over the last 2 years. But yeah, so it is good to know that. Yeah, I mean, definitely like a lot of Cubs fans, making sure to mention the L flag, like on like message, like on Facebook groups or whatever things that I'm seeing. I saw someone from like the Facebook group sent a broom to to American Family Field through Amazon or whatever. So I wonder how many. I'm sure that guy wasn't the only one to think of that. So like,
no.
I wonder how many brooms showed up at the stadium that day.
Yeah. Who knows? But as a Brewers fan, they had a good season. Yeah, good regular season, 97 wins. But I think it's also important to remember that they had an 11-game winning streak and a 14-game winning streak in that season. So that's 25 wins right there. The 11-game one I think was in May, but the 14-game one was in July and August. I can't remember exactly when it started, but that was the one where they really got a stranglehold on the division and just sort of put the Cubs away. It happened at the exact same time that the Cubs were playing poorly. I feel like it's okay to say that like a long winning streak, especially towards the tail end of a season, doesn't necessarily translate to playoff success. And in fact, I think maybe you should be a little skeptical of it. Just a couple of years ago, the Cardinals won 17 games in a row, and then they fizzled out in the playoffs, and then Mike Schilt got fired. So when a team wins a division and gets into the playoffs on the back of a long winning streak like that, instead of just being solid all year, I don't know, Jeremy. If that 14-game winning streak was instead 10-4, the Brewers have 93 wins, and the Cubs finished with 92. It's like the race looks a lot differently that last month and a half.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I was seeing was like in the comments, Brewers fans were saying like, oh, we were 6-0 against the Dodgers in the regular season, which like, man, I wonder if those people regret stating that, obviously after the fact, but it's like, that's not a good thing. That just means that you're due to lose to the team, like from the law of averages, like that portends poorly. I mean, obviously, like if a team dominates another team, it's one thing, but like law of averages, and the Dodgers are not a bad team. They're not an 0-6 team. So like, it was almost like the law of averages was due to catch up with them. So the whole thing was just, it was a lot. I mean, if it means a lot for the Brewers to have beaten the Cubs, then they did that. But like, it was just, I mean, I said it last week, like, I don't know if the Cubs would have done any better against the Dodgers. They wouldn't have. So then you're like, well, they would have won one game. So it's like, I don't know, I think, again, like, you think about uniting against a common enemy, and it's like, the Dodgers are just, they suck. We should all be annoyed by the Dodgers.
I actually do think that with a healthy Cade Horton and a healthy Justin Steele, the Cubs might have had a fighting chance against the Dodgers. But hey, that's a big if, right? Because neither one of those guys was healthy.
Yeah, I mean, Horton. I still am so bummed about Horton like not being healthy for the playoffs. Just how that would have changed things. Also, the whole trade deadline. But what's done is done. So
yeah,
So yeah, we're both both fan bases are in the same situation watching the World Series. Mariners fans are pretty grief stricken as well, I would say, and I don't know. I will say, like, I am. There are a few guys on the Blue Jays that I'm happy for. The Vlad thing was pretty cool to see at the end of the game, him getting like emotional and stuff. And then I feel like they showed Pete Walker a lot, Jack, and we got Pete Walker this year.
Yeah, we sure did. That was a good one to get.
Or last year, I guess.
It was last year. We still got him though. So that was good. Definitely longtime pitching coach for them. It's cool that Max Scherzer is on a roster that has a chance to win a World Series. It'd be great to see him have a good outing in one of these games, especially since he pitched for the Dodgers as well. Yeah. So that would be cool, especially considering he had a terrible regular season, but he came through in the post. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. We were texting a little about this, but the Blue Jays probably have a better chance than the Mariners at actually beating the Dodgers.
Definitely with home field advantage, it's good for them. But also, Jack, Don Mattingly, it's his first World Series in any capacity in his professional career. Yeah,
I didn't think about that. Okay.
Yeah, neither did I until I saw like a Topps Now card of it. So like I would love to get him on that card. That would be really cool.
Good Lord, one guy we couldn't get to save our lives.
Yeah, I know, and unfortunately not eligible for the Bus Awards this year because they weren't here. But
no.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe though, if we can eventually get him, he could qualify for one of these awards next year.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, there's some good storylines there. I'm sure there will be a lot of Canada and USA stuff going on as well. Although it is Los Angeles, but so we can see how that all works out, I guess. But yeah, I just hope it's a good series. I hope it goes like 6 games or at least, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. Just real quick on the post game, it was funny because like they were talking. It was like the Fox post game. So it's Burkhart. Who's the? Why am I forgetting the other? It's David Ortiz. Oh, it's A-Rod, David Ortiz, and Jeter. And I think they all went down the line saying like arguing how like the Blue Jays could. This is how the Blue Jays could win. The Blue Jays got home field advantage, whatever. And then Derek Jeter goes like, "Come on." It's like the Blue Jays, like, come on, it's the Dodgers. Like, they're gonna win, and like it's like, hey, dude, like I know that you come from like the Yankees and like the highest of pedigrees, but it's like they're trying to build up some ratings here. Like that's kind of your job, and he's just like saying like it's gonna be like a pushover or something. So
that's kind of how Jeter always is on those. He just sort of seems like he doesn't want to be there, and like he acts like the other guys are idiots.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the good teams will always win and the bad teams will always lose or something. But yeah, so anyway. We will see that series starts Friday. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. One other piece of baseball news, I guess, that dropped today. There's a lot of managerial openings. I think there's 8 now, but there's 7 since one was filled. Kurt Suzuki got hired by the Anaheim Angels or the Los Angeles Angels. Strange hire. They looked like they were going to go with Albert Pujols. That fell apart pretty quickly because of money and years, they said. They were thinking about hiring Torrey Hunter. I guess that didn't go anywhere, and then they ended up with a guy that was seemingly on no one else's radar as far as jobs were concerned.
Yeah, I mean, talk about just from a player quality standpoint, going from Pujols to Torrey Hunter to Kurt Suzuki. So yeah, I don't know. Kurt Suzuki doesn't strike me as a particularly smart man, so I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, I can't even take the Angels seriously as an organization, so I don't even know what to think about it.
No.
There
is an interesting one though. I think with the San Francisco Giants, I'm kind of interested to see where they go with their hire. It looked like the job was Nick Hundley's, but then he took himself out of the running, and now they're looking at Tony Vitello from the Tennessee Volunteers. And I guess I didn't know this, but it makes sense. A Division I head coach has never made the leap right away to a major league manager job.
Okay, I was going to ask because I can't recall any of that.
I read an article in The Athletic that said it had never happened, and I certainly don't recall it either. Pat Murphy was a head coach in college, but he was a coach for years in the Brewers system and the Padres system before that, and he was the interim manager for the Padres for a little while. But you've seen it happen in the NBA a couple times. A college coach like Pitino or Calipari. Will make that jump. Brad Stevens did it from the Butler to the Celtics. So it's happened in the NBA. It's happened in the NFL with Pete Carroll. I guess Bill Belichick went the other way. But it's never happened in the MLB. So I kind of hope it does. Be very interesting if he takes that job.
It's just weird and like. So this is where it's interesting for me, Jack, because I don't follow college football or college basketball really, but like I have to imagine there's going to be a lot of like recruits that like I guess it's the same. Don't they have like an opt out clause or something like where they can leave if the coach leaves?
Yeah, but yes. But I also think with NIL. So yeah, I think they can. I wonder if they can leave that same season. I know with NIL everything has changed and the guys are free agents every single year. I think that's true for baseball as well. I know it's true for basketball. But yeah. So I'm sure it would just throw Tennessee's program into shambles if it happened.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, but also I don't know like. It's not like going to play for Nick Saban or like any of these big like basketball coaches like Coach K or something. Not that he ever left, but like I don't know if that would change for like baseball. I don't know. Vitello's a young guy, and he's had a lot of success lately. Or the program has had a lot of success lately, seemingly like with him. So like, that could throw them into upheaval. But I've seen him a couple times. He kind of seems like just like a dude. Like he seems cool. Like, but definitely like young and like so I don't know. Who knows? It is so kind of unprecedented. It is pretty interesting though. Like as the prospects of it happening. So like I don't know if the players would like thumb their nose at like a college coach, also a young college coach coming in to manage them. I don't know, but I don't know. It should be interesting, and as far as we're concerned, we're just trying to assess if he's going to graph or not. So
I was going to say I'd like to get the guy's autograph. That would be very cool. One interesting thing is that I read that Tennessee is paying him $3 million a year. And that's more than probably a lot of major league managers make, or at least it's probably very similar. Council's making $8 million a year. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's guys who are making less than that. So they're going to have to pay him more than he's making at Tennessee to get him to make the leap. So that's a pretty hefty salary for a guy who's never managed professional baseball before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point. I think he's got everything at his disposal probably at Tennessee with their success. So, I don't know. Not too many cards of him online, Jack. I looked, and there's some customs, and so like I feel like at that point we might as well just make our own customs of him. So
we're gonna have to order custom, but for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Yeah, he's got to get hired first, I guess. But right. All right. So that I feel like that's most of the baseball news right now. Let's get into the Bus Awards. So we have these separated into two categories. We have players and coaches, and then we have fans, probably from our own like experiences. So we'll go through it and see what we got. I'm hesitant. I'm like prepared to kick myself later, like to think of some ones that I'm forgetting because I didn't have as much time to prep for this as I would have liked. So we'll see if there's any like updates next episode, but we'll see. I'm sure once we get talking about it, it'll spark some memories. So it's a long season, a lot of weird interactions, especially with the fan stuff. So we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first, we might as well get into it, I suppose here. So the awards, like they were last year, are kind of divided into two sections. The first is player stuff, and the second is fan stuff. So I think we're going to start with the player stuff first, and then move on down to the fan stuff. For our listeners, some of these that happened earlier in the season, maybe there's stuff you forgot about, and we'll be happy to remember if you've been with us all the way through. But I think the first one we have here is funniest guy. And that's funniest player, funniest guy we got an autograph from, I guess, or not. Jeremy, who did you have for this one?
So I had a more recent one, Jack, for funniest guy. I had Tom Goodwin.
Oh yeah, okay.
With my interaction with him late in the season, I ran over. That whole situation was funny, just slash like a mess. But I ran over. I was rushing over there, and he was signing, and I ran up there, and I didn't have my card out yet, and I said like, "Do you got a minute?" And I pulled out like this big stack of cards, and he's like, "It's going to take longer than a minute," and then I said, "I have a system," and then I found his card right away, and he goes like, "Oh yeah, system works." So pretty good exchange there, back and forth on both sides. So for me, he was he was my funniest guy, I would say.
Yeah, and Jeremy, from my perspective, that was funny too, because I didn't know you were there, and then all of a sudden I heard all this commotion over at the other side of the bus, and like, sure enough, you were getting Tom Goodwin.
Yeah.
So that was good. Yeah, my funniest guy was from quite a bit earlier this year. It was Warren Schaefer, interim manager of the Rockies.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
So, Jeremy, we both had these cards of him because, he was just a coach in the minor leagues. And I actually might have a player card of him, Jeremy. I think you had a coach card of him. Mm-hmm. And he's just, it's the most unremarkable card ever. If you've ever seen a base coach minor league card, it's just him standing there, by third base with a helmet on and, like, his hands on his hips. Like, there's nothing remarkable about this picture. You'd forget it the second you saw it. And he takes this card from you, Jeremy, and he's like, "Oh, that's a horrible picture." But it looked like him. He didn't look fat and or whatever. I don't know. He didn't look bad in it. Like, he didn't look bad in his uniform. You know, like, it was just, I don't know what he thought. He wasn't making a weird face. Like, I don't know what the guy thought was bad about it.
No, yeah, it was so weird. It was almost like like a teenage girl like being mortified by some like picture of her that she sees like online or something. Like, it was very odd, and it was completely unprovoked, and like hard to explain.
I don't even remember what our response to it was.
Yeah, I know, because what do you say to that? It's like, "Oh no, you look great, coach." There was like, it was definitely hard to respond to. So I don't even know. I really don't know what I said.
No, I also don't know if the Rockies interviewed him or asked him to come back or whatever. I don't know.
Right. It almost seemed understood. That was one. All the interim guys this year. It just. Although, did the Pirates hire Don Kelly? I think they did, right?
Yes, they did. The Pirates hired him. Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like some of the interim coaches. It just seemed like no, there's no way. You're like, of course you're not. We're not keeping you. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Mansolino, I think, was another one.
That's right.
It seemed like he did pretty well with them. Okay. So that's a good one. Next we have most intimidating. I can go first for this one.
Okay.
I chose Drew Rasmussen.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I was legitimately scared to go up and get that guy's autograph because right before we went, he signed for some kids first, and then he signed for this adult, and he was like, "Yeah, the kids were polite enough to ask me if I wanted to sign," and I was like, "Geez, man, what should I ask him again when I get up there?" I was legitimately like, maybe we shouldn't ask this guy for his autograph. He ended up signing, and he wasn't a jerk, but I was a little worried there.
Yeah, that was awkward, seemingly unnecessary. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was kind of odd. I don't know. And then like we kind of flew under the radar on that one. Like, that guy took the brunt of that, and then we kind of
and Jeremy, we easily could have been that guy because I would not have asked him to sign again after the kids got him over there. So that guy was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, totally. So it was funny from that regard as well. So very nice. All right, my most intimidating. It was hard to find a place to put this. So it ended up here. It could have ended up in a couple other categories, but my most intimidating was Sandy Alomar, Jack.
There you go. Yeah, see, I was gonna put that too. I ended up choosing Rasmussen, but Sandy Alomar was bad too.
Yeah, it was bad, and it was like it was weird because like it wasn't so much that he was intimidated, but like I think we both had like the kind of like reaction as if he fucking like scared us or big timed us or something. It was just, like, it was a truly deflating, humbling experience. I guess maybe that's the right word, but like, yeah. So like, just again, if in case that anyone missed that one, he came out and there was two people there who were waiting for him, and he we called for him. He came over to the people, but then he was like he was looking around in a way where it's like, is he going to stop and talk to these people, or is he going to like keep going? Is he going to sign first and then go back to them, whatever? And then he saw us in the background, still kind of like motioning for him, like with our markers in the air, and he goes like, all right, guys, like, give me a minute or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, come on, guys, give me a minute.
Yeah. And so that was a little cringy, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's I wouldn't say he would like, there's like I said, there's a couple other places where it could have been, but I ended up throwing him there.
Yeah.
Just because.
Jeremy, our next one here is going to be messiest signature. Do you want to go for this one first?
Yeah, I can go here. So again, this is like trying to like find a spot for this guy. I have one clear one, which like is Shota Imanaga. So like Shota Imanaga's like signature, we haven't really talked about this too much, like just on the Cubs side. I've managed to get him like several times this year now, between like arrival and locker clean out and stuff like that. But his signature ranges. The worst version of his signature is seriously just like a little like loop. And it's pretty crappy. And so I've gotten that a couple times. Then I've gotten a little better than that a couple times too. That one is just, it sucks. It's a bummer. And I guess I'll leave it at that. I'll save the other guy because I have him in another category. So I'll just put it at Shota.
Okay, great. Yeah, mine was Sal Frelick.
Dude, okay, well that was the other guy I was gonna say. So there you go.
Okay, yeah, because that guy. So I was very happy to get him. I was very surprised to get him, but his signature ain't much.
No, and it was like not I think we got him, but like it was definitely the like, it seemed like it was the like, here, like, now will you leave me alone signature.
Yes,
So,
definitely. And I did look the next day. I was looking at his autographs on eBay, and even his pack pulled cards are similar to what we got.
Yeah.
It seemed like earlier in his career, maybe his autograph was better, but I guess it's deteriorated over time. But yeah, man, I mean, you would have no idea what the hell that thing was if you just saw it on a piece of paper.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I might have one of his older ones from like from a pack or whatever. So
okay.
But yeah, it's like it's like if you look at like a good one, you can kind of see the resemblance, but you can tell that this was just the like, leave me alone, guys, sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that he was right there for me, Jack, too. I ended up moving him to the next category actually. So okay. I guess we can just kind of go there. Most unexpected guy to sign / biggest catch. Now, this is a tough one, Jack, because like I think that those are two different categories.
Sure. Maybe next year we need to separate them.
Yeah, I think so too. Although biggest catch maybe could kind of be interpreted as prized piece, which is coming up. Sure. Kind of like the big one. But anyway, I had Frelick down for that. I had Frelick and Yelich as most unexpected guys to sign.
I think, Yelich, definitely very unexpected. Definitely like biggest catch too, at least for me. Last year it might have even been Churio, but we've been trying for years to get Yelich, and multiple times per year. Every time the Brewers came here, we tried to get the guy, and he never signed. So the fact that he was signing all that weekend, we got him on different nights. I got him on that first night, you got him on the second night. Right. So that was amazing, but also like, the autograph that I got him on, it was the perfect card. It looks amazing. Like for whatever reason, he gave me a good one, and it looks awesome. It's just that was my that was probably my best moment of graphing all year. So hell yeah, he was most unexpected and biggest catch.
Yep. Okay. There you go. So I felt like I should put a guy who I like root for as my biggest catch, but definitely most unexpected, like those two. I would say just Frelick too. I mean, it's just like, from what we went through like the year before that, where he used me on two separate occasions, 2 separate days. He took my pen and signed for some kids and not for me. And then he took Chris's pen and signed for the kids and not me, right in front of us, and then handed us back the pen. And it was like, dude, like that's just rude at that point.
Yep.
It seemed like we were never going to get him. And then we got him. So like definitely most unexpected for sure.
Absolutely. That'll forever now be known as like a Freelick move when a player takes your pen, signs for other people, and gives it back to you.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. So nicest, Jeremy. I had a Jeremy for this one. I had Jeremy Hefner.
Okay. All right. Very nice.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe that's recency bias because he was one of the last people we got this season. But he was also, as bad as the Mets were at the bus, and I guess in baseball as well. He was he was nice. It kind of seemed like he knew that he might have been toast because I don't think they retained him, did they? Or did they announce that they were, because they canned a few of their coaches, and now I guess I can't remember if they fired Hefner or not.
Right. He was fired. He was
You're
let
right.
go.
He was fired. He was, because we talked about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Perhaps recency bias. Honestly, this is a good thing, but I feel like there was several guys who could have picked for this award, which is nice. But yeah, he was very cool, and we were saying it seemed like he kind of maybe saw the writing on the wall or something, because he was fired 2 weeks later or something like that. So yeah, that's a good one. He might pop up later on my list. Cool. So yeah, Jack, I feel like you asked me on a different day, maybe I would pick somebody different, but I went with Mike Soroka.
Okay, all right.
For mine, yeah, and you weren't around to hear the exchange, but we were graphing right after the trade deadline. We were graphing at the Zachary Hotel, and we called it a night. We were walking back, or maybe we were walking over to the Cubs. I can't remember, but we were done with the hotel. And we were walking, and we walked right by Mike Soroka, and it took me about 3 houses to figure out 3 buildings to realize who it was. Yeah. And then I did a 180, and I turned back and I ran down the street to chase after him. And Jack, why I'm forgetting the friggin' name that I coined for those autographs. What was it? Predatory graph. Graph.
Predatory graphs.
So that was the autograph that sparked the expression predatory graph, and I feel like maybe it was because he was so nice. Yep. So what I didn't know is that that was his first game that he pitched as a Cub, which he then left early and ended up going on the IL, and he didn't come back until the very end of the season. But I didn't know that at the time. I asked him for his autograph. He signed it with his injured arm. And then I go man, great to have you on the team, or how you feeling? And he's like, I'll be back. And he was trying to reassure me as a Cubs fan. It was just a one-on-one experience, but he was trying to reassure me that I think he was embarrassed that he got injured, and he's like, don't worry, I'm going to come back and contribute to this team. And it's dude, you don't owe me that explanation, but it was cool. And so I'm like, yeah, man, this is a nice guy. I saw him sign at some other arrivals as well. So he seems like a pretty nice guy. So yeah, that's what I went with.
Yeah, that's great, Jeremy. I didn't bring a Soroka card that night, unfortunately, so I'll have to get him, next year whenever he's back. But the funniest part about that one for me was that you ran after him, and there were a lot of people on Clark Street, which is where we were, and there was just kind of a whole mob of people that he had already walked past. And so I saw you run in there and just sort of ran into the fray. Yeah. And then there was a point where I couldn't see you, and all of a sudden you reemerged, and I was about 20 yards away from you, and you just did the hang 10 symbol and then started walking back towards me. I just knew immediately what that meant. Yeah. So that was
right.
Good.
That's right. I forgot about that part of it too. That was just indicative of my overall demeanor there. So again, probably from a nice interaction with a nice baseball player. So
right.
So there you go. So yeah, good stuff there.
Our next category is weirdest dressed. This was kind of a hard one this year because I feel like there were not a lot of standouts. Who did you have?
Well, Jack, again, if we were going to name this category, I think previous winners of weirdest dressed, I think were Logan Webb. I seem to recall won it.
Yep.
At least I gave it to him last year, I think. And then the year before that, I think was Nick Senzel.
Because he dresses like a pirate.
Yeah, he was wearing like this billowy shirt with like a big like neck cut out of it or something. And now
So
he's
yeah, I think we both chose Logan Webb last year because he is a strange dresser. I don't recall seeing him at the Giants bus this year.
No.
Jacob Junis was there just because he was shoeless on the field
that's
last year.
Right. That's right. This might be my favorite category, by the way.
It's a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Who did you pick for this season?
All right, Jack. Well, so I was trying to like really rack my brain and try to remember. I don't feel like there was any true like Nick Senzel moments, but in my memory, and maybe it's just the way that this guy looks, but in my memory, this guy, I think he was dressed like this, but I'm not 100% sure. But I went with Jack Morgan Burkhart.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if you remember, like I in my mind's eye, I remember him dressed in kind of like these piratey, like billowy clothes. I don't know for sure, but like he definitely looked. He didn't look like a former ball player or even a coach. He looked pretty like kind of like. I don't want to say slovenly dressed, but like he looked kind of like shabby dressed, I think. So like I don't know, that's what jumped out to me, Morgan Burkhart. Which
did he have a hoodie on too? Like was his hoodie over his head?
That might have been it. Maybe that was it. He was wearing like he looked like he just came from like the gym or something. Like like he was like doing that like sweat training where you just try to sweat off all the calories. That was with the Padres, I guess.
Yeah, he was coaching with the Padres. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. And then who knows? Maybe he was yelling at an umpire a couple weeks ago. I don't know, but yeah, Morgan Burkhart. That's who I ended up going with.
Okay. So my weirdest dressed, and hear me out on this, because it's not so much about how he dressed, but just about how he kind of grooms himself. Is Clint Hurdle.
Okay.
So I think like with Clint Hurdle, because he's an old guy. Right, I mean he's probably almost 70 at this point, if not 70, whatever. But he's an older guy. He's also a big dude. I mean he's 6'3" probably. He's a tall guy. He is intimidating. He is nice, but like he seems like he'd be intimidating. But Jeremy, the way he wears his hair, it was like he was wearing his hair like he was Bart Simpson.
Yeah. He has like a crew cut type of thing going on.
Yeah, and then he spikes it up. Like it's like he puts a bunch of gel in it. And he's not the guy that you would expect to do that. Like, this guy who managed the Pittsburgh Pirates, like a working class city, a guy who like played in, Kansas City, whatever. Like, he's just not the type of guy you would expect to have like a spiky haircut, especially as an old guy with gray hair. So it's just, It was strange. And so I guess like this year it's more weirdest haircut or like most unexpected haircut than weirdest dressed. But that was mine. That was what stood out to me.
Yeah, I think that that makes sense. Just weirdest fashion sense.
Right.
Morgan Burke. I mean, Clint Hurdle. So yeah, I know I saw Hurdle in my like list or my photos of autographs, and I wanted to get him in there somewhere, but I couldn't really do it. So yeah, kind of like maybe an off year for dressed, but definitely some guys who stood out to us for their general demeanor. So
yep, and Hurdle's 68 by the way.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So, okay, all right. Well, next up is Hail Mary, and I think this one might have been inspired by the Rich Hill autograph from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, I guess I'll give mine first for this one. So I went with Rick Kranitz for this, and let me tell you why. So I believe that was the night where the Braves bus got delayed, or their plane got delayed, and so they, everybody was sitting around for like 2.5 hours after the game, graphers included. And so at some point, you stayed at the Braves because I think you were trying to get Paul Bird. Yeah. And then I went over by the Cubs just because I was like bored and I wanted to see if anything was going on over there. I came back and that was like right when you got Paul Bird, whatever. And I didn't even have a good spot, but all of a sudden Kranitz came out and, I've asked Rick Kranitz like 5 times for an autograph and he hasn't signed. But I called like, hey, Rick, do you got time? And he came over and he signed one. And I think I actually had to like get in there because I was, about 3 deep. And then he signed for me, like completely unexpected. So I was happy about that. But that felt like a Hail Mary to me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I have a funny postscript to that, Jack, because I had wanted to order a Kranitz card, and I didn't, so I didn't have him then, so I didn't get him. I sent him through the mail before the season ended, and I haven't gotten anything back. I haven't gotten that card back, so he might. Yeah, I might be down one Rick Kranitz card, so it might be even more of a Hail Mary than just missing him, a couple times in person. Like I sent him through the mail, and I might go, over on that one too. So so double whiff, double different settings, I guess. So yeah. We'll see, but yeah, that's a good one, and I know we just had the impression that he was maybe not going to be signed, and he did. I did say hi to him like when he was like going out to do like pregame stuff, because I was at that game, and he seemed pretty nice. So maybe he's just in a good mood that day or that series or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
right.
But yeah. Okay. So So and again, like I was trying to pick guys. I most of like we did probably this year was the year that we kind of graphed separately the most, or at least I feel like I did. I was trying to pick ones where we were together for. So I'll just throw as an honorable mention. This is probably what I would pick, but I did get Bob Brenly earlier in the year, and like got him on the side of the bus, and like just for years, like since we've started, we've been trying to get him, and he hasn't signed, and like he was a guy who we thought we could get to sign and didn't. So it was like to get him finally was a huge Hail Mary like completion. But
little did we realize, Jeremy, that the common denominator in those other times was Dennis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. He probably just saw Dennis and just turned around. So, because he seemed perfectly nice when I got him, very pleasant. But yeah. So you take Dennis out of that equation, and it equals autograph. But I threw in there, Jack. I feel like this guy had to be mentioned at some point, and I think this one almost was a Hail Mary because I feel like it's like my voice was like the football, like that I was like throwing down the field to try to make the completion. But this is where I got Phil Cuzzy, Jack.
Yeah, there you go. That was a really good one. He was somebody I was thinking of too. And I think last year it was an umpire too that we talked about, but it was maybe Laz Diaz. But Cuzzy's definitely a good one too.
Yeah, he was like a guy. I think also to the fact that you don't know who the ump is going to be before you're there. Like I don't think, or at least I mean, obviously before the series. Maybe if it was game 2 or game 3 of the series, better you would know. But like, he was a guy that I just kind of randomly wanted. And then like I had a call for him. Like I really had to sell out for him. I feel like I yelled his name like 3 times or something just to get him over, and he was kind of like incredulous that we wanted him, and then we had a really cool interaction with him. Like he maybe was a candidate for nicest, but yeah, so I had to recognize that somewhere we got him over. He told us the story, but he gave us the date on the autograph, which like completely threw us, and they had that weird exchange, but then to find out later that was like when he broke the record for being the oldest umpire to umpire a game. That was pretty cool. So that was a good one for sure.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, redemption story is next. Who do you have for this one?
Yeah, I can just get this one out of the way. I feel again there probably are a couple ones I could have put for this, but Jack, I had to put Mike Borzello down. Now I got him separately. But I got him before the NL's Wild Cards Series Game 3 against the Padres, and I had met him in spring training and had a conversation with him a little bit behind home plate at the Cubs spring training game. Didn't get his autograph, was kicking myself for it, and then saw him on the field for the Padres, and I was able to get his autograph then. He was pretty cool. The only graph I got, only guy he signed for. So definitely a huge redemption story there for me.
Yeah, always good to get a guy when you miss him, the first time around. For me, it was Nasim Nunez.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice.
Yeah, because last year sort of mistook him for Darren Baker. Got chastised with a look, and this year it was like knew who he was right away. called for him. He came over. He was like, "Oh, you've got cards," and then he signed him, and yeah, he was super nice too. He was another candidate for like nicest guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good redemption story to kind of wash that one away a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was trying to remember what I was looking at his graph and I was like, something funny happened with him. I couldn't remember what it was, but exactly. But yeah, he was one of those guys who was like enthralled by our cards. So that was always cool when that happened. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pick there.
Well, we have two more categories here: biggest snub and prized piece.
Yeah.
So biggest snub is first.
Yeah.
And I can go for this one.
Okay. We might have the same. I'm gonna predict we have the same guy for this one, Jack.
I don't know, Jeremy.
Okay.
So mine was actually Rick Manning.
Dude. Okay, dude. I had Rick Manning down, and then I changed him halfway through this because I remembered who the bigger snub was. But go for it.
Okay. I'd love to hear a bigger snub than that one. But yeah, that was bullshit that Rick Manning didn't sign. Like anytime the announcers don't sign for you, it's like, come on, dude. And nobody was. First of all, there was like nobody at the bus yet at that point.
Yeah.
And we were in our spot on getaway day. We were the only people there, and he still didn't sign. And it's like, come on, man, your career's been over for 30 years. Like, just sign.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, dude. So that was one that I know we normally don't get upset that guys don't sign, and I don't care that he didn't sign, but it's like, whatever, man. That was not a good one.
Yeah, it was the most inexplicable snub, for sure. But Jack, for real, I had him down. I wrote him down. But I changed off of him, so I still consider that a match.
Okay.
I feel like that's the better one because mine is like maybe too obvious, but it's worth it to just tell the story again, I guess. And then I have a follow up to the Rick Manning thing just after this. But my biggest snub and honestly biggest asshole was Taylor Rogers.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, yeah. Absolutely.
A little obvious, but like it I feel like it just couldn't be. It couldn't go without being said. And then of course like so me like asking him like, Tyler, you got time to sign one, and he's like, no, and and snubs me, and it was kind of a bummer because it was kind of like that was overall like a good night. Like we got McGuire, I got McGuire, Willie Castro, and then I ended up getting Soroka later, but Rogers was the only one who said no. And then we fast forward to a couple weeks later, and then we go back over there. And then it was your turn to step up to the plate, and you went a little too low key with your request for Rogers.
Yeah, I tried to ask him out of the side of my mouth, and like he just blew right by me. It's like if he's not gonna sign for you if you're loud, like he's gonna pretend like he doesn't hear you if you do what I did. So
that was funny. It was like there's just too much like street noise to help to make that subtlety work. But yeah, so that was it was funny, and I mean that's almost one where like I always said like we didn't graph during the time of Zach Greinke, but like it almost would be more fitting to get rejected by Greinke than to actually get him. So,
I agree. 100%. I feel like on Greinke's, on his Hall of Fame plaque, you know how like Hall of Fame plaques read, where it's like they're kind of these like clipped sentences that just sort of describe the guy's career. I would love for the last sentence of Greinke's plaque to read, "Never signed for Dennis." And like that's just it, because that's something, man. That's a real accomplishment right there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, didn't sign for Dennis or Pat Neshek. So
yeah, right.
So Jack, my postscript to the Rick Manning thing is now that the season is over and like I'm going through my first waves of autograph withdrawal. I've started doing some TTMs, and one of the 3 that I sent out today, Rick Manning.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. He's signed. I've seen him like I've seen people getting him back. So it seems like he signs. But it almost like I almost don't want to like do it just to kind of like wash away the snub. But like we'll see. I have a 1981 card of him that I want to get signed. So I hope that's what I sent him. So hopefully I get him back. I will update that on the podcast.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, well, last player one here is prized piece. So who did you have for this one?
Yeah, Jack, I have like a four-way tie, honestly. So I'm just gonna pick one. I'd say, but I'm gonna pick two. Really, I think when I got Kyle Tucker for the first time, that was huge. I like as a Cubs fan, I really wanted him. I figured like it would be a limited window to be able to get him. I was surprised that he even signed at all, but he was a very good signer this year. Like if you were there, he pretty much signed. He was pretty good to get. So that was a standout for me. But Jack, I also got to throw. I think you might have said it. I think you said it before, but like, for you, but like that Walt Weiss autograph stands out for me. That I got late in the year. So and I think it's largely because of the card that it's on. It's for this 19. So I got Walt Weiss when the Braves were in town, and it was on his 1989 Rookie Cup card when he was with the A's the year after he won the Rookie of the Year. And it just was like is an iconic card for me when I was like opening packs and building sets and stuff like that. So it was a real cool like kind of blast from the past, and like just I think like I couldn't have picked a better card to get signed. It just was so iconic to my childhood. So yeah, it's a prized autograph for me from this season for sure.
Yeah, the Weiss one is one of my favorites in my collection too. And hey, it's like you said to Jeff Houston, had to get you on the Rookie Cup, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Houston's response was, "Well, there you go." And then he went on the bus.
Totally.
Yeah, that was good stuff. So my prize piece, Jeremy. This is another guy we've been trying to get for years with multiple different teams, and we lucked out with getting him, in my opinion. And this is going to maybe come up again a little bit later, but Jose Quintana.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a nice one to get. I honestly did not expect that we were going to get him. And I for some reason I keep forgetting that I got him, and then I look through my collection like I did tonight, and I was like, oh yeah. It's pretty awesome that we got him. So yeah. I'm really happy about that one.
Yeah, I agree. It was a really good one to get, and I think I know where he might come up on yours.
Sure.
So yeah, that was a pretty good one to get. I don't know. I guess I don't quite know like how he is like overall, but yeah, we have never had luck with him, and
no.
I feel like I haven't seen him sign too many times. So yeah, that was cool. My honorable mentions were Ron Washington and Justin Turner also,
okay.
But those were both like kind of non-podcast related, so cool ones to have. But yeah, definitely Weiss and Tucker were two big ones.
Jeremy, let's move on to the fan section of the Bus Awards. Starting with worst father-kid combo. I think I'm up for this one. So I called these guys the Kevin Kelly guys. So it's from a recent episode, but they were the father-son combo who was standing by the opening in the net when I called Kevin Kelly over, and he came over to sign, and they looked like they were there to get autographs too, so I waited for them to make some kind of move to get Kelly's autograph. They didn't, and Kelly I think was nonplussed as well, and so I had to like force my way in there and be like, hey guys, excuse me, and then I got Kelly's autograph. But it's just like, what are these two lummoxes doing here? So yeah, those guys were idiots, man. So there's a father and a son who was about like middle school age, but not good. So those are my two.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I had kind of like blocked those guys out of my memory, but yeah, definitely. So yeah, mine's also another recent one too. There wasn't the quintessential like ick in the stick moment again. Right. I think with as far as father and son specifically goes, and again maybe something will like jog loose later on from like an early season memory, but I had to go with Mets motivational dad coach. Coach dad and kid. So yeah, the kid who was standing next to me, who's gonna come up in this next one as well. But the dad was saying, like, you got to get in there. You got to stay in there. You got to stay positive. You got to just accept the losses and celebrate the wins. Like, you're going to be batting 300, but that's okay. You know, that's a good average. You know, so, you know, you're going to miss more shots than you get. He said every fucking cliche there was, like, as like a bad coach would say to this kid about just graphing, not about, like, Little League or, like, I don't even know, like, taking a test or, like studying for a test. It was about graphing, and it's like, man, this is just absurd, like an absurd showing, and I didn't even really know what to think, and I wish I mean, some of the, honestly, I think he said all of those. I think those are not even like, I'm not even like making that up, but yeah, motivational dad and kid.
Yeah, there was a lot of stupid at that Mets bus. More on that later. Most cringeworthy moment. What was yours?
Well, so just to go right back to that, I think I put the Jeremy Hefner moment here for most cringeworthy, because he was signing, and then that kid, I think it was the same kid, goes, he was a player, and then Hefner overhears him, or like he's like, who was he? And like Hefner goes like, yep, that's me right there, and like said, like, you know, he asked him how old he was. And he said like 12, and he's like, yep, well, there you go. This card's 13 years old, so you weren't even born yet. And it was just like, there were a lot of moments where people asked me who the guy was who just signed when the guy was standing like 6 inches away. And It was just like, have the decency to wait till the fucking guy goes away before you say who the hell is this guy. But there were so many of those.
One thing if you're looking for a card, like, of his, but it's another, like, if you're just getting your hat signed, and then you ask right after the guy signs for you.
Yeah, when he's still there. And, like, and also, like, it's like, be a little more subtle. Like, you see that I have, like, when they ask me, I'll show them my card, and I'll just point to where the name is. Because, like, he can hear me talk. It's like, why couldn't you have just looked at the card and looked at the name and just been like, oh, that's Jeremy Hefner. Okay, cool. You know, like... So yeah, that was my most cringeworthy moment.
Okay, yeah, and that was a good one for sure. Most inexplicable person. So always a fun one.
You go first, Jack, on this one, yeah.
Yeah, it was the like sort of the Southern Comfort guy who loved Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
When he goes up, he's behind me and he's like, I just want Pete Alonso. Yeah. And then Alonso comes out and he's like, come on, just sign for me, bro. It was strange, and he was like in his 50s, so to hear him calling Pete Alonso bro was weird, especially since that doesn't seem like something a guy with that accent would like call another guy. So it was just the whole thing was just weird and inexplicable.
That's funny. I still wonder if like we like if it was the same guy we were talking about or different guys, but like when Pete Alonso came out and he goes like, I want a Pete, I want to get a Pete, like, and like I just can't do that voice, but like it, I think it was the same guy, but he was like just muttering to himself like, I want a Pete, I want my Pete or whatever. So yeah. Yeah, Jack, I mean, honestly, I couldn't really, I was at a loss to pick a guy. I mean, I think that's a pretty good pick. I would maybe go with that too. I just,
sure.
You know, short of just giving it to the cable guy every year, you know, like it's hard to kind of, accept him as a regular person. So yeah, I mean, you know, for lack of a better one that stands out to me, that's what I got. But that might be one where I have to like kind of come back to because
there weren't a lot of inexplicable people this year. It wasn't like the Dodgers series last year in 2024 when like there were those two cigar guys and like they just came up for like 1 second and were like, wah, wah, and then left.
Yeah,
there's nothing like that this year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the guy who ended up fucking getting everything fucked up by the bus, the Dodgers guy, the guy who went viral, yelling at Max Muncy. I mean, maybe that probably was the biggest freak, and it had real world ramifications.
Well, yeah, so our next category is biggest asshole. And
Okay.
so I might as well just say, I know you weren't there that night, but you certainly saw what happened. I was right next to the guy.
Yeah.
And, like, the biggest asshole is the Muncie guy. Like,
Okay.
that was completely uncalled for. It was ridiculous. Jeremy, I mean, that guy was, like, he was, like, on drugs. It seemed like it. He smelled like really bad, and he was just like, he was no good. Like, he was a shady character from like the moment he walked up, and then he started pulling that crap. So it was weird to be like literally right next to that guy in a clip like that had gone viral. He wasn't in the clip; they showed Muncie, so you never see the guy who's actually yelling. But it was garbage. Like, the stuff he was yelling was completely inappropriate. You're right. It had real world ramifications. After that, they never removed that second barricade the whole season. F that guy, man. That was crap.
Yeah, for sure. And just for the record, I was there earlier that night, but I left.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that I saw that guy. I think that like we kind of compared notes afterwards. I was there earlier that night, and I had left because you were at that game. I went to possibly Graph and saw how crazy it was and left. And then that ended up happening. But I think that I saw a guy who I thought was the guy who yelled at Muncie, and I think we kind of compared notes, and it was that guy. So that was just a crazy night. Definitely an asshole. I mean, there's so many, but yeah, when you have real world ramifications and you screw it, you quite literally ruin it for other people. You got to be up there, right?
Yep.
So I went with and again, these were things that I experienced on my own, but I had a run in with two jerk security guards on getaway day. And most specifically, I'm trying to remember what series. I think it was the Cardinals, maybe. The real like annoying one, where I kind of got into it with the guy, and he was like saying like, you got to go to the front of the bus if you want autographs. And like I was like, hey man, I'm usually standing here, and it's usually not a problem. He's like, if you want autographs, you got to go to the front of the bus. And like he was such a jerk that I saw a flotation tank afterwards, and I'm like, that guy was a dickhead, man. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, he can be. and I'm like, I was like, you know that guy? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, that guy was a dickhead. He's like, oh, yeah, he can be. And he's like, sorry, man. Like, he's like, I try to tell him you guys are cool, but, I don't know. That guy just whatever. And so, like, yeah, he kind of ruined getaway day graphing for me. It kind of was never the same after that, like, as lucrative. Yeah. And then, like, I did end up running into another jerk security guard who wasn't as bad as him, but like was definitely hanging around, like blocking that space, and like eventually, like at some point, told me like, "Hey man, if you try to get autographs over here, I'm going to tell you can't." And it was just it was just shitty. So it was a rough way to end the season on getaway day, but he was my biggest asshole for sure.
Hopefully getaway day isn't ruined now for good.
Yes, I'm hoping not.
We'll see. Best security guard. Who did you have for this one?
I mean, Jack, I had to go flotation tank.
Yeah. There's no question. As flotation tank would say, this is a weird job. He said that like after he's like, yeah, my dad asked me, is like, is that a picture of you with Ohtani? And I was like, this is a weird job. But good guy. Gave us a lot of information, like inside information. Both he and Nick did. We're pretty tight with those guys now. It's good.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, anytime you get two sets of tickets, especially tickets to the playoffs, the guy automatically clinches best security guard staff.
Oh, so,
yeah, flotation tank. Got some rough around some edges, but overall pretty good guy. So flotation tank wins that one for this year.
Our next category is best ally, Jeremy. I'm guessing we probably have the same guy for this one.
From the little hints, it sounds like we did as well. So I went with the Jose Quintana old man.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he literally got us Quintana's autograph. There's no way Quintana comes over and signs if it's not for our ally, our buddy, holding up Quintana's jersey and getting him over there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then like I honestly that probably, I almost want to put that as my best overall moment. I have other stuff on there for best overall moment, but like when he got him, and then we were like, hey man, like you get the assist on that one, and he was like elbowing, like after we all got him, he was like elbowing me. And like it was just the coolest thing ever. It was almost like we were like friends for like 20 years or something. And he was excited. He's like old guy, super excited to get his autograph, and like we were all excited. And it was just a really cool moment. So like definitely like he might be the best ally. Well, I mean I know Chris has won this award in the past too, and Chris is our buddy. But for a guy who we didn't end up becoming friends with, he's probably one of the best allies ever from graphing.
For a guy we didn't even had not even seen 5 minutes before that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was pretty damn sweet.
Yeah.
This next one, Jeremy, I'm interested to see what you have for this one. Most useless info.
Okay. And Jack, you know what? I know that this episode is drawing on long. I thought of a good most inexplicable person, best freak. I'll double back to it after this category. Jack, my most useless information, and I know I just praised this guy, but my most useless information, I think also comes from Flotation Tank, which is when he told Jake Bird that the Candy Kids were a scam. Yeah, that's a scam. And then, Jake Bird was like, well, they need it more than I do. Yeah, right, exactly. It was like, I don't know what he thought was going to happen from that, but yeah, it was unnecessary. And like, I don't know, like, it's like, yeah, like, would Jacob Bird go down like, oh man, you guys are scamming? Give me that money back. Get out of here, It's like, he couldn't have done that even if he wanted to. So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm putting for most useless information.
Okay, wonderful. And yeah, Jeremy, you might as well double back to inexplicable person, because I think we should do most cringeworthy moment too, which was up there.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, let's go back to that. But yeah, most useless info for me is they got Caminero at Chipotle.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. They got 4 James Wood. But
yes.
Like, that's useless information, man. Like that whole drama at the end of the year, which, like, who knows what the resolution is going to be of like fake autographs from JEJ. Like, all of that is just useless information that it may or may not be true, and like, who cares if it is or not.
Yeah, for sure. It was that again. That's one that could have gone in a lot of different spots. But yeah, and like, yeah, Dennis is like, I think Dennis is almost beyond award here. But yeah, that was that was funny for sure. And it was like part of a bigger controversy, which is like, yeah, the allegations by Anthony against JEJ about fake PCA autographs and whatnot, and that fits into that storyline. And so, like, yeah, the whole thing, it's just a tangled web of absurdity, of like graphing absurdity, basically.
For sure. So yeah, Jeremy, who did you have for most inexplicable person?
Okay, so this was a memory that just got jogged for me, but just because of the Bird thing as well. But it happened at the same game, which is where Nick, the security guard, was talking to that woman, and like he like that older lady, and he like got her number or whatever.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, and so like it was just like I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened. This was like this was in June, Rocky's series. So go back and listen to that just to get the full story. I might have to refresh my own memory, but I just remember like he was talking to this woman, and like she gave him his number, or she tried to give him his number or something, and then like I know him and like Flotation Tank kind of like yucked it up about it. It was just it was truly inexplicable, and like she was inexplicable. I don't know why it happened or how it happened, and yeah. So just good stuff there. I just truly inexplicable.
It was, and yeah, you're right when you said Flotation Tank managed to bring his own version of like off-color jokes to that whole thing too. So yeah. It was good. Yeah, Jeremy. So most cringeworthy moment. For me, it didn't really involve a player at all, but it was when the page blew out of my binder early in the season.
Nice.
That was freaking terrible, man. It took a village to get all my cards back. So you, me, J.E.J. I helped out. I think Josh. It was like at that point I knew I had to get the mixed media book going, and I did, and it was a game changer for me. But it took an all-time cringeworthy moment to make it happen.
Yeah, that's right. Jack goes full hot mess.
Right. I did. I believe that was what we called it. And yeah, that was the worst the wind has ever been in graphing. I think like you almost got something blown out of your book too, but it was just like it was freaking terrible. It was a really cold night. We were waiting for Kyle Tucker. That was also going to be my most useless information is when like we tried to ask JEJ after, and like him and Josh both had different stories for how long it took Tucker to get out. But
right.
bad night, but definitely a cringeworthy moment when you're entering hot mess territory.
Yeah, for sure. That was right. No, I did, and yeah, to your credit, Jack, or like whatever to. Support you on that one. I had a Sean Dunston card get blown out of my book.
That's right.
On that night. So yeah, it was rough. Okay, cool. So we're kind of coming down to the key categories here. I guess we got quote of the year next.
Yeah, we do, Jeremy. Do you want me to go first on this one, or do you want to go?
Why don't you go?
Okay, yeah. So this one is very early in the season.
Okay.
But yeah, here it is. It's keep it moving, keep it pushing, keep it moving. I don't know if you remember that one, Jeremy, but it was from Angel.
Yeah.
Very early in the season. I think it was the same night I got the thing blew out of my binder.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, very same night. It was absolutely freezing outside. Angel was back there, like, just having a terrible time because there were a bunch of kids. He wanted to go the hell home, first of all, because of the kids, second, because of how cold it was. And he said this line to himself. He wasn't talking to anybody. He just said, keep it moving, keep it pushing, keep it moving. And then Josh says to him, did you say Bush is coming? Like, as in Michael Bush. And Angel goes, nah, I said keep it moving, keep it pushing, keep it moving. So the fact that he repeated what he said before, even though it wasn't like good or like it was just gibberish. But it was funny.
No, that is pretty good. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. He also said something else during that that we never revealed.
He did that we probably shouldn't repeat in this episode, but
no.
If you want to hear it, I think we say it in the other one. So
okay, that's right.
We might.
We did say it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So again, it's hard to distill a whole season down to like one quote, I guess. But I got two here. I got one. Listen, both quotes are Cable Guy related. Okay. I feel like the Cable Guy had to get like mentioned here. Jack, and maybe this is the fact that I can't remember this like verbatim. Maybe should disqualify it from the cringeworthy moment. But do you remember what he said about who was the coach that he got to sign? I can't remember who the guy's name was. Wasn't it a Royals guy?
Was it the Mariners coach? Pitching coach?
Okay, yeah, it was the Mariners, right?
Yeah.
Was it the one where he only had him and then he asked him some question about being on the team or being in the minor leagues, and then like the guy responded to him. He started answering his stupid question, and Cable Guy was talking to like some kids, and I think he was saying, it's like, guys, do you remember Bo Jackson or something? Was that what it was?
So yeah, it was a coach, Jeremy, and it might have been a coach on the Brewers, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, it was definitely a coach that he saw in the minor leagues. He's like, yeah, I missed you 4 years ago, and blah blah blah. And the guy goes, oh, how'd that happen? And like at that point, the Cable Guy was already talking about Bo Jackson to these kids.
Yes, yeah, he was saying like, do you guys know who Bo Jackson is? So that was it. I guess like the how do you know, or do you guys know who Bo Jackson is? But just one more Cable Guy quote. I think like I almost forgot about this one too. this was for the Royals for sure because it was Angel Zerpa coming out, or Angel Zerpa.
Yeah.
And the cable guy goes like, because he's a self-proclaimed Royals fan, so I'm like, and again, I don't know, I still don't know if it's Angel Zerpa or Angel Zerpa. I'm like, is it Angel or Angel? And he goes like, it's Angel. and then Zerpa comes out and he goes like, Angel, and then Zerpa just walks right by, and I look back and I go like, you sure it's Angel? Like, whatever I said to him, I'm like, and then Anthony and like some other guys laughed at him.
Yeah.
And it was just ridiculous. It was that whole thing, I think, just all of that quote of the year.
No, that's good, Jeremy. And I wish I would have been there for that one because the Angel stuff, because that sounds funny.
That was one where I had to actually I was gonna specifically call you just to tell you that story because it requires like vocally to tell that story with the pronunciation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just absurdity.
Oh God. And I remember when you wanted to talk too. Yeah, so that's good. Okay, yeah, this next one here, Buffoon of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you have for this one?
Again, Jack, it's like there's a lot of like contenders, or like it's really hard to like pick one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it almost seems a cop out to pick Cable Guy, but like there's just so many times that he was just like was just making my head shake. Like I just didn't know what to pick. So like I didn't know what to say about it. So like I had to go with Cable Guy. I know that there's probably some like more guys in the margin. So I'm curious as to what you have as well. But I
think the worst part about Cable Guy is that we've given him the benefit of the doubt so many times. And we want to, and we also have very similar interests to this guy. And it's just like, outside of baseball, and it's just like the guy falls flat on his face every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's hard to reconcile. So there you go.
You know, mine, and I hope we don't run into this guy again next year, but mine was the Carlos Pena guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it was during I don't think it was the Mariners series. It was one of the last series of the season. But whatever, it doesn't matter. This guy comes up to me at the bus. He starts asking me a bunch of questions that he already knows the answer to.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, dude, if you know the answer and like you do the hotel and stuff, like why are you asking me these questions? Like just leave me alone or just talk to me. Don't ask me questions. But then after the visitors bus wrapped up, somehow we ran into this guy again in Gallagher Way, and he's like, hey, I just fell ass backwards into Carlos Pena. And that makes me a little jealous, Jeremy, because like I'd like to fall ass backwards into Carlos Pena. Like why does this guy get Carlos Pena and like we don't? So like, whatever, like screw this guy. But yeah, the guy was just a hooligan. He was just a buffoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I recall him like he was talking to you. You were in the middle of me and him, and like I had no interaction with this guy. He just like glommed onto you, and he was asking you all these questions, and I wanted to lean over and be like, hey, that's enough, leave him alone. Like just not, just to shut the guy up, because I'm like, enough. That's enough. You're done with your questions. That's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Because I was so annoyed by that guy. Jack, I thought of one other guy for Buffoon. The guy who when we got Dustin Garneau and he asked us about that, and he goes like, "Oh yeah, buku bucks."
Yeah, making boku bucks. Yeah, I was looking at my autographs tonight and I saw Dustin Garneau. And that was what came to mind when I saw that one.
I think he said something about like, "Oh, I'm never gonna wash my hands." Like I think when he got Clint Hurdle signed, and he's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna wash my hands after this" or whatever. Yeah, so that guy was a buffoon. I don't even know. I think another Rockies fan won Buffoon of the Year maybe one year too, where he was like the guy who was like all dressed up in Rockies gear, but then was like leaving, like in the middle of the series or whatever. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, we got our final two, right?
Yeah, best overall moment and worst overall moment. I think in classic fashion we do worst last. So I guess best overall moment first. I suppose I could go for this one.
Okay.
My best overall moment was just the Rays series in general. It was just a great series to graph at. I think I got almost 20 autographs for that over multiple days. It was nice to be there because it was like different vibes. I should say the Rays series is because we had a great night on, I think it was the Tuesday night for the Sox, and then we were back on Friday for the Cubs. And, there was a lot to laugh about because, Dennis had gone to Indianapolis and, had an incident with Nicky Lopez, and we heard about that. So it was just, a lot of funny stuff combined with a lot of autographs. So it was good.
Yeah, that all of that was very good, that whole series. I think that's a strong contender as well. That's what my mind was drawn to, these, series that were kind of like windfalls. This was a solo experience, but the Mariners getaway day, I feasted, cleaned up really well. I got Mitch Garver, Rosarena, J-Rod. That was pretty good. I had some good arrivals, and locker cleanout was a lot of fun just because there was a lot of the regular, the regulars there and stuff. But for podcast related, I mean, kind of on the same boat. Honestly, the Brewers series were good.
Yeah.
Kind of collectively, but definitely that last one, where, we got Frelick, we got Joey Ortiz, we got Yelich, Quintana. Those were all big names that were on the list that are, there were names that evaded us for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I really wanted to get Danny Jansen, and I got him on both cards that I wanted, pretty bad. So just honestly, the Brewers from graphing, I think were some of the biggest surprises just because they had traditionally not been so great. So I think even earlier in the year we got a couple surprising guys too, but it's escaping me right now. But yeah, so I don't know why, but those Brewers series stood out to me just because they were so successful.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff, and we came on strong at the end of the year with those last few, including the Brewers. So yeah, that was good. Okay, worst overall moment. Jeremy, what was your worst overall moment this year?
Again, this is one that happened, solo. So it was hard to, it sucks, but it was something that kind of hung with me. And there's a couple other ones I'm thinking of too, but we've kind of mentioned them already. But when I was at the Rangers game, I got snubbed for Wyatt Langford, and it kind of came up later on in the season. I guess it ties into the podcast because this guy was at the Rays series, and luckily he didn't fucking screw me or you or anyone else out of autographs. But at the Rangers game I went to earlier in the year with Mark Bubblebath, I was out there prime spot to get Wyatt Langford. He was coming right over to me, and this asshole reached his cardboard with his card over mine, completely covered mine. He got Langford and I didn't, and I wanted to fucking kill this guy. And then he ended up showing his stupid mug at that Rays series as well. But that was my worst overall moment. I would say just big whiff, I guess.
Yeah, right on, man. Yeah, and we did bring that up a little later. So now I remember that guy for that too, even though I wasn't even there. So that's shitty. I feel you. My worst overall moment was actually the first night I had my mixed media book. You were not there, Jeremy,
Okay.
but I do believe I did a solo episode about this. But it was when my Dave Clark card got ruined. So he had just signed it. I was trying to flip pages to go to another guy. I had my marker cap open, and I dinged the Dave Clark card with my open marker. So the card got completely ruined, and it sucked. So next year I got to look for a redemption. Redemption on Dave Clark if he's still on their coaching staff. I think I can do it, but I got to do it. So yep, that was mine.
Yeah, hopefully he sticks around, and we get another crack at him. I also think he might be a through the mail guy. So
Okay.
I would he's a candidate for through the mail, I think, for you, Jack, because you already got him. You have the experience with him. So
Yeah.
if you got them through the mail, mentally you could just be like, well, this is the card I got signed by him,
Yeah,
not
right.
the other one. Did you dispose of that card, by the way? Is it gone?
Oh yeah, Jeremy, it was in a White Sox garbage can, so it's in a landfill somewhere now.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah, I couldn't find a sewer, man. I was in a baseball stadium, so
Right, you could have. I was like, would you have stuffed that in like the urinal or something, maybe? But yeah, that's a rough one. Well, that's interesting that both of our worst moments came solo. So I don't know. I think we're the sum of our forces combined. Hopefully like raises. I'm combining like 5 different sayings here.
Sure.
So yeah, well there you go. Well, it was obviously these years get crazier and crazier. I think every year, just with the more like in depth we get, and the more like I don't know, just the more people we meet and interact with, and then the more rando people that come out. There's never a shortage of that kind of stuff. So I do feel like graphing is the gift that keeps on giving, just because we have all these crazy interactions with these people.
It is, and Jeremy, I feel pretty confident. I don't have my finger, that much on the pulse, but I don't think anybody else is talking about this stuff. So.
No, I don't think so. So, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. So, good year, and we'll get back at it next year as soon as we get our first crack. The November card show is coming up quick, and like they're still adding names. They just added Rick Sutcliffe, so I have some big decisions to make as to who I'm gonna get and how much money I'm going to shell out for all of them. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. But I'll be looking forward to talking about that. We'll be talking about the World Series. We have something fun for next week. We were going to do this this week, but we decided to do the Bus Awards. But we're going to rank the Dodgers roster from most to least hated. So that should be pretty fun.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that balances out.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys. That's a real top heavy list there. So
right.
So that should be fun to talk about. And the World Series should still be going on. And I don't know. Go Blue Jays, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. Well, for this week, I'm Jack Swakowski.
And I'm Jeremy Dionisio.
And we'll see you next time.
Later.